the Tulane Green Wave. And you guys know how much I love Willie Fritz. Y'all ought to know it by now. But last year, 4-2 in one-score games, there were forces at play. I will say that. 9.31 and 3.69 in post-game win expectancy. They went 10-2 in the regular season, 12-2 overall. They won the conference title game. They won the Cotton Bowl against USC. Big-time stuff. 7-1 in the conference. However, they lost to Southern Miss last year. They beat Kansas State, but they lost to Southern Miss. That's the way it goes. Will Hall, he'll do that to you. This team is number 81 in adjusted returning production, number 46 on offense, number 110 on defense. And that defense was pretty good last year. Pretty good. Number 44 PPA per drive on defense, number 31 PPA per drive on offense. Pretty balanced overall. Roster strength, the number 2 in the conference, number 3 on offense, number 3 on defense. But man, number 110 adjusted returning production on defense, that's going to be interesting, especially considering they have swapped out defensive coordinators. It feels like a ton, right? So new offensive coordinator, Slade Nagel. New defensive coordinator, Sheil Woods, comes over from Troy. Sheil Wood, excuse me. He replaces Chris Hampton, who went over to Oregon. Of course, they had Lance Guidry in there for a cup of coffee, and then Guidry went over to Miami. Is what it is. So let's start on offense. Tyjae Spears is gone. Not going to have that. But they do get the quarterback, Michael Pratt, back, along with 4 offensive line starters. They lost their 2 top wide receivers. Can they have playmakers emerge from the guys that they've got right now? Jaquan Jackson, I think, could be really, really good for them this year. Their center, Sincere Haynesworth, I think is a massive, massive piece of the puzzle. So they got pieces on offense. They could be really, really good again in Willie Fritz's offense. They ran the ball 54% of the time. That was number 33 in the FBS last year. Is that number going to change with having a different running back in? Clayton Johnson is expected to be the running back this year. Pratt only passed on 40% of his snaps last year. So we'll see. He is somebody that is hyped up as being a potential NFL pick. Who knows? Who knows at this point? On defense, the top 2 tacklers are gone, but the defensive line should still be solid. They're led by the studs Hodges and Jenkins. They were much better against the pass than the run last year. Number 63 PPA per rush, even though they were number 56 in rushing success rate. So that is what it is. The question for me is, can the secondary continue their improvement with 3 starting transfers? We'll see. We'll see. They got some things to do there. They got some work. This team was number 6 in the country in penalties per game, number 42 in turnover margin, but their luck rank, I was talking about Memphis and some of these others having a bad luck rank last year. Tulane was number 6. The ball seemed to bounce their way a lot last year. They are projected favorites in 11 games, so that's going to be interesting. Their win total sits at 9.5. It is plus 110 to go over and minus 140 to go under. Let's talk keys to the season. They need playmakers to emerge badly. The quarterback, Pratt, is back, and they do have an experienced offensive line. They need skill talent to show up and score points. The depth could be more of an issue than it was last season, although the schedule does set up nicely. They have 5 games against former CUSA teams. So, look rank, penalties per game, and number 22 in giveaways per game. All of that likely to regress to the mean. They're projected favorites in 11 games, but I have got them going 9-3 this year. So I've got them going under, and I know that's juiced at minus 140. But you could absolutely see losses at Memphis and against UTSA, or at Florida Atlantic, or at East Carolina, something along those lines. Could they lose to Ole Miss? Yes. They could also lose to South Alabama at home in week 1. That's a team that returns a bunch. This is an interesting spot for Tulane. Can they keep it going after winning the AAC last year and winning a Cotton Bowl? Who's to say? I think the ceiling for the team is absolutely like 11-1, but I also think that the floor for this team is probably 7-5. So that's going to be That's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. So I like this team. I don't think they're going to be as good as last year. Tajay Spears was the dude. But it is what it is. Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Make sure and follow me on Twitter @GaryWCE. If you want to toss in a question, you can email me, Gary@winningcureseverything.com. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.